Hello and welcome to Oxygen Tango Live. This is our first broadcast. I guess we'll just assume that everyone can hear us. It'd be great to have, there's a little bit of a delay on the chat. It'd be great to have someone in the chat just to verify that, in fact, you can see the stream. Nothing on feed, it says. All right. Let's see. There is a little delay, so maybe... Huh. All right. Okay. Let me try this again. Says it's live.
It's going now.
Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, we're just going to assume that we're on. There's a significant delay, so we'll just sort of take the chat as it comes. All right. So you muted? We're all muted here. Okay. Welcome to the Oxygen Tango Live show. We have three exciting guests who will be coming on the show in a bit, as you can see. We very much encourage you to ask questions in the chat, where you could say counting on that. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's David Lampson, and this is Megan Wiles. Megan, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dave Lampson?
I'm doing good. Okay, it seems to be working. We're getting some chat coming in. Looks like we have Julio Roca in the chat. Very exciting. Berna, welcome. Amy So making an appearance. Nicole Smith. Wow, this is exciting. Mitra.
Hey, everyone.
Is on the chat. Stefan is cooking at some point. Maybe he'll join the chat at some point. Patricia. Wow, this is exciting. We are underway, ladies and gentlemen. So... when will Elaine is already asking when the classes are going to restart. Maybe this would be a good time to mention. Well, Megan, what just happened 20 minutes before we started?
The California governor issued a statewide stay-at-home order, and we'll be hearing a little bit more about that from Nayon later, who's in the nonprofit sector and has a really particular viewpoint on that.
Okay, so we will be hearing about that later. Yeah, we will not be restarting classes, certainly while there's a mandatory lockdown on all non-essential activities, but we do hope to start as soon as possible. This brings us to what we're trying to do here. This is obviously an experiment. We're learning on the fly, so we hope you'll bear with us. But
and to that end, Dave, I'm not sure that the stream is working.
Okay.
Berna's saying no sound, and Julia is saying that the video is glitchy.
Okay. Is it working for anybody? No sound, huh? Could anyone in the chat say if it's working for them, that they are able to hear any sound?
I just asked.
Okay. I think we just have to keep going.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Are you able to hear sound when you open it up, Megan, on your browser? I guess we'll just assume that everyone...
Yes.
Okay.
But it's just spinning out. It's not I think it just keeps cutting out.
Okay, well it's
Roy Nyberg says he can hear.
Okay, we're just going to keep forging ahead and hope for the best. I was explaining our purpose here. It's kind of hard. One of the things we like about Tango in the first place is that it's not online. It's one of the, it seems, diminishing number of activities that that you can do and not be online. So it is hard to imagine how you would translate what goes on at a tango school online during a time like this. On the other hand, this is also a social activity, and we're used to seeing each other. Thursday night is probably the night when the most people congregate. And that's something we can do online, reconnect with people. and see how everyone's doing. So that's our idea here. Shall we try to bring on our first guest?
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. Megan, maybe you can interact with the chat with them for a minute while we make that happen.
Well, the chat is hopping, I have to tell you. Right now, most of the chat is about whether or not the chat is working, whether or not the live show is working for people. It's half and half. The people that do have it, it's stop and start.
Okay.
Julia LaRocca reports that it works better for her on Firefox.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, we're gonna try to switch everyone over to Firefox.
Thanks, Julia.
Oh, I should probably close my windows. Okay, we're gonna try to patch in our first guest here.
Lots of people have arrived. Alice Wang is here. Tango Bangers is here. That's logged into our Tango Bangers YouTube account with T2. Bern is here. Sachin's here. Julia's here. Patricia is here. Mitra is here.
Cole Smith. Wow, this is exciting. Mitra.
Okay,
Hey,
Sachin is on the stream. Sachin, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Wow, this is
I'm
exciting.
good. Please turn off your your stream.
Okay, it's off. It's off.
This is going so well.
Doing great.
Wow. Sachin, how do you like the layout? The stream layout?
I like it. I'm so impressed. And it's good to see people that I know now suddenly in front of me.
Chatting away.
Yeah.
And on the
Ivan Lopez
This
makes an
just
appearance
arrived.
in the chat. Hello, Ivan. Some people have already making technical suggestions for what we should have done. We always appreciate that at Oxygen Tango. Glad we got right into that. Sachin. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Tell us how you're doing.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing average. As soon as we went into this kind of lockdown or self-isolating, I got this sty in my eye, which I thought would be worth talking about. And I tried to get it looked at, and I got some advice over the phone that it had to be surgically removed, but they said that they're only seeing critical cases. So I think I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with my new friend until until some point in the future. So aside from that,
It's already looking a lot better.
thank you. I think yesterday was looking more bulbous.
It's definitely deflated some.
Thank you. I'm flattered. And other than that, I've just been eating chocolate. I know some people have been very productive and finding them inner selves, but I've just been eating a lot, and that's how I've been dealing with this.
Have you been?
I hear ya.
Have you been researching the sty on the internet? Do we need to put in a call out to the chat for information on this, or do we feel like we have it under control?
I was told not to touch it or push it because it could then infect my brain nodes and go to my brain and cause me brain damage. So I just push on it sometimes.
I see.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see.
just because I feel confident that my medical knowledge trumps whatever's on Google, which is not true. But
Well, your instincts are pretty good. We have a comment from Franco Del Nuevo. Sachin looks taller in person. Thank you for calling in, Franco.
well,
Alice Wang suggests a warm compress.
I will. I've been doing that. I should do it more regularly. She's right. Yeah, I should be more regular. It gets really hot, and then I'm paranoid that I'm going to get some corona in my eye from the hot compress. I'm just 1/3 paranoia, 1/3 laziness, and 1/3 height. That's my whole composition.
Now, I heard that you did get some good news about your love life from your mother recently.
So my mother checked the astrological chart, and she told me that the next 20 days are prime for me to meet somebody in my life. So, because I called to check in on her to make sure that she wasn't walking around aimlessly in a Costco. And that's when she told me that she spoke with her astrologer, and I'm next 20 days are tops. I don't see how, because I'm not interacting with anybody except on games.
Could it be that Oxygen Tango Live might be a place?
Yeah, it's possible that Oxygen Tango Live might be the place where I find my mother's daughter.
Astrological match.
Yeah, that's right.
So there is a silver lining in all of this for Sachin.
There is.
What have you? What has been the most difficult part of the coronavirus epidemic for you?
Honestly, I've just been trying to find my bearing for the last week. I always had this fantasy, like, man, if I was stuck in my apartment for months, I was gonna be so productive, but I haven't been. And just finding like my sleep schedule, getting used to not doing the things I'm used to doing. Usually I didn't realize how much I was outside, and now that I'm inside, I'll go for a walk now and then, but it's like a sad walk. It's like an apocalyptic walk. It's not really encouraging. So I'm hopeful that in another week I'll find my bearing and I'll start doing what some other chuckleheads are doing, which is learning the guitar or something, or doing something more productive. Maybe I'll watch West Wing. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of it. And honestly, just kind of maintaining my anxiety about it, and I'm worried for the older folks, and just keep myself in check about that, and just taking it one day at a time. And I also miss I miss all the people I took for granted that I would see regularly at Oxygen, at the Milongas. Yeah. It's so easy to take things for granted. You see them every week, and then you don't see them every week, and like, oh, okay, I wish I went out more. So, yeah.
There's a lot of people I saw pretty much every day. I don't think I even realized that until I stopped seeing them every day.
Yeah, it's like suddenly there's a vacuum in my life, and about to be filled up with video games and chocolate. So,
Min Fei has a suggestion. She writes, Sachin can meet someone online or in the toilet paper line. So there you have some advice.
Thank you for that. Yeah, maybe I'll put on my best shirt when I go stand in line for toilet paper, and I'll try it. That's look, that's better advice than what my mom's giving me. So I'll give that a whirl.
Sachin mentioned that a lot of chuckleheads out there are taking this opportunity to learn a new skill, maybe return to an old hobby. We'd love to know if there's anyone in the chat that's doing something like that. So please let us know, and we'll see it 2 minutes from now. Sachin, has there been anything positive about this experience for you?
About this? Oh, about the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
Not much is the honest answer. It's
fair.
Not
fair.
It's not much. No, there's not much. The only thing is just the little moments with people. I'm talking with a lot more people on FaceTime and connecting with them on video, and I think that's going to keep growing. And I think that's probably the one positive thing. Like just checking in just for checking in's sake, right? Like when. Hey, you got your life, you got work. There's no real need to check in, but here it's like people are just checking in. I like that. So if anybody needs a call, I'm just sitting here, so I'm happy to call. Chat about anything.
All right, Sachin is ready to talk.
Sachin's a lawyer, so that's some good advice. That's a good person to call.
Unsolicited legal advice being offered for free on the live stream.
Free legal advice. Yeah, I can hear myself talk the whole time. So, free.
But you bring up a good point, and actually just today I heard from 3 friends from high school I haven't talked to in years. I've called my parents twice in the last week, just kind of for no reason. Doesn't really happen a lot. So I think certainly for me, and it sounds like for you too, it makes us appreciate each other more and possibly even reach out to people that we always assumed we would have time to reach out for.
Sure. Dave, I think I've spoken to you in the last 8 days more than I've spoken to you in the last because usually we're high-fiving each other and saying, howdy and
And one of us
what's
is
up?
on the way to the dance floor. Yeah, there's no time to talk, really, is there?
But now we can gaze in each other's eyes and just learn about the other. It's nice.
Maybe this is what it will take for tango dancers to really get to know each other.
Yeah. I hope so. You guys are doing a bang-up job of it, though. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Sachin.
Oh,
we've had a
fun
lot of
comment
action in
from
chat.
Franco Del Nuevo says it's hard for him to keep himself from caving in and calling an ex.
Maybe you should do it, Franco Del Nuevo.
Don't give him that advice.
Well, we don't. Maybe it's a good match.
No, he's not. No, Franco, don't do that. Call me. I will take the place of your ex.
Everyone in the chat, chuckleheads in the chat, if you were thinking of caving in and calling an ex, first call Sachin, get some legal advice. If you still want to call your ex, go ahead. That's my advice.
Franco, I'm in the same boat as you. Let's not do it. We'll make a pact. A no ex pact. Until June. I think June, all bets are off. But until June, no exes.
June is when we start calling the exes.
Yeah, Franco, it's been 8 days. I'm with you though. I'm with you. Yeah, until June. We will reassess in June.
That sounds fair enough to me.
What?
Are you guys in the same house right now? Are you guys in the same space?
We are in different
Yeah.
rooms of the same apartment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, but
One of you so this is good.
it's a little more comfortable than trying to share the computer screen.
we did debate
Plus,
that
this
format.
way, I get more screen space.
Yep. Sachin, what is it that you miss most about tango?
Can I just say I love this format. No one ever asks me anything. And Dave, you just ask me questions. I like it so much. Can we do this even though we're not on YouTube Live one day?
See, when we're talking about you, we're not talking about me. So.
What's
I'd
the
love
thing that I
to.
miss about what?
About tango.
Man, honestly, I've been dancing for a little while, so I think for me recently it's just been being in an environment where I just know people. That's been the nicest part. I'm starting to miss the music. I'm starting to miss moving. I can feel myself gaining weight in strange places, which I didn't realize dancing was kind of taking care of that. I'm not going to fret it, because it's just more funny now. But yeah, I think in a month I'm really going to miss it. Yeah, I'm just gonna miss making jokes on dance. I'm gonna miss, you know how when I teach, I didn't realize this. When I teach, I always walk around and I just stare at people, and I like to make them uncomfortable. And I didn't realize how much joy I got from just walking around and watching watching students mess up the move, just because I'm staring at them. I miss that. So
Interesting. Wasn't expecting that.
yeah, I gotta find a substitute for that.
Okay.
I gotta be more like Berna. Berna seems like a nice teacher. I gotta be more like Berna and Derek. But
Well,
they're my role.
Berna's nice, but she's very picky.
She's picky, but she's constructive. It seems
Yes.
to me.
I see.
Yes.
But you see,
I gotta
you have the
She doesn't let you
Schadenfreude.
get away with shit.
What's that?
Sachin is
She
admitting
doesn't let you get away with shit.
True. That's true. You're not going to get away with anything. But Sachin actually takes pleasure in his students' mistakes, especially if he feels like they were caused by Sachin. That's what he's admitting here.
Yes. There are no secrets in this chat room.
Okay.
That's-
Good. Greg Shirley making
Only
an
'cause of-
appearance.
What's that?
Greg Shirley just made an appearance. That's all.
In the chat. There's a
Yeah.
heated debate about whether you should call the X's.
There is.
Zena Bibler, pro. 4. Nicole Smith, anti.
See, you can't. What are you gonna do? Talk with them? You can't. You can't
Well,
connect
yeah.
because they might have the corona.
True.
If anybody wants to, if anybody has a motive to infect you with the corona, it's gonna be your ex.
True.
Yeah. Open the door and let them in, and they're your ex. No.
How
Franco,
are
no.
how are the chuckleheads in the chat handling the solitude? Are we thinking about calling our exes? Are we finding a special someone to quarantine with? Are we going it alone? We'd love to hear from you.
I want to see these chuckleheads, and I'm gonna find them. Chuckleheads.
I'm not sure how far behind the chat is. I haven't seen any hobbies yet.
Xena suggests asking them if they have enough toilet paper. Would be one reason to call the exes. Maybe a
Two birds with one stone.
pretext.
This is turning into the best.
If you need an opening line, you have one.
There's so many suggestions. All right, I can try. Hey.
Sachin, are you gonna call your ex and ask her for toilet paper right here on the live stream?
Do it. Do it. Do it.
No.
Do it.
We won't
do
pressure him.
it.
No. My exes. No. No. Don't encourage. If you got, because I'm so affable. If you ask me enough, I'll do it. But don't ask me to do it.
We won't pressure you. Maybe that will be the next stream. Sachin calls his exes.
Yeah.
What do you miss the least about Tango?
Wow, these are controversial questions. These are controversial questions, David.
Speak in generalities, please.
I don't not miss anything. I mean, what am I going to say? Parking? No. I even like parking the car because you have the anticipation of going in. There is I guess I have more time for movies, but I don't really care for that. There is nothing I don't miss about
Got it.
Tango, is the honest truth. Yeah. Do you are there things that you don't miss about it?
About Tango?
Yeah.
I think I think the itch is starting to come back, but it was kind of, in a strange way, I would say, a relief the first few days not to be able to dance tango. So that might be a little bit different than not missing something about it. I'll have to think about that.
I feel like for you and Megan it's different because you guys are organizers, and there is so many different levels of stress that go along with it, right? You have to be in charge of the schedule and the accounting and the teaching and just organizing with other organizers. To just not have to deal with that must be a load off, right?
It was probably the most consecutive days that we've both taken off, really taken off, probably in about 3 years. So from that perspective, it is nice. Correct.
I started playing my violin again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Yeah.
You can do that live.
No, I'm very far away from that. When I say started playing my violin again, I mean I've started at the very beginning learning the violin again.
There's some musicians in the group, like Alice Wang plays the violin, I think.
Yes, we practiced together for a while, and then she got too good. She practiced way, way harder than I did. And she was always really nice about it, too. Like, I was always, you know how you play tennis with somebody, and if they're not that good, like, you don't want to do it for that long because you're just, like, chasing the tennis balls all over, and at some point you just want to have a nice rally, like a nice volley.
Right.
She's very patient, though.
Right. Well, let's probably let her music speak for itself, I guess.
She's really good, and I heard her a long time ago, so she's probably even better now.
Wow.
Can we do a live stream maybe in the future where she plays?
It would be.
What?
That would be tremendous.
That would be amazing.
Austria's in the chat.
Christine Austri. Ooh, who's eating a Pitfire pizza? Who's Tough Emblem? God, that sounds good. Oh man, I'd forgotten about Pitfire's pepperoni pizzas.
I'm still trying to get to the chat. I want to see who's there.
Well, maybe this would be a good time to mention that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Megan.
I think I was just going to mention it. If you are interested in being our mystery guest, we're looking for you. So if you have Skype, send us your Skype name. If you don't have Skype, it's free to download. You can download it on your phone or your computer. SKYPE. We're looking for our mystery guest.
And send us, I even have a little...
Just want to send an email to connect@oxygentango.com.
Yeah, we'll put in a little thing about it. Yes.
I'm just going through the comments for the first time. Yes, Elaine is right. I should ask David. I'm going to, Elaine. Just wait. I'm going to attack Dave.
He asked me, turned one question around me, I completely froze. I was unable to talk. That's not going to work at all.
Christine wants to know if we can have a Zoom session and all dance remotely. How would that work?
I think
do it in a spooky way where like I lead like with my chest, I guess, and I turn and then you turn.
I see. Ooh.
No, that.
I have danced over Skype before. What makes it tricky is the delay. There's that 2 or 3 second delay. You know, so you have to. You don't have any feedback really. So you really have to. You have to trust that it's working. But.
Right. Maybe we can put our hands to the camera and try to make contact through space and time.
I'll admit I find something a little bit, what would you call it, uncanny maybe, not in a good way, about trying to dance tango over the internet. You know, just sort of seems so counter to the essential nature of tango that it'd be something in the body. But who knows? Maybe we'll figure it out.
What I like about Oxygen is that I feel like there's a group here that's just willing to experiment. So even if you come up with something that you don't completely feel confident in, you can just lay it on us. All of us chuckleheads will give it a go.
I'm so curious how many people are quarantining alone, and how many people are, if it's because you live with somebody or because you've just picked like one tango person to risk it all and still practice with. What do you think?
Christine chiming in, we have to listen. It's true. You have to, it would be maybe a true test of your connection. Can you follow with a 2 second delay on a Zoom session? Very good point.
Megan, are you suggesting that we pick one kind of exception to the quarantine rule? And
I think people have, yeah.
Oh, people have.
I think so.
I'm too paranoid and anxious for that.
Yeah.
Will they admit it in the chat? That's what
I think that's
fair. It sounds like Christine is hinting that she's been quarantining with Cassandra.
Working with or endure?
It says endure.
We'll just put that up there for a second. Maybe she'll clarify. I think
It doesn't sound like she's bragging about it. Like it's more like, hey guys, I got this thing. I got to endure Cass. Can someone do something about Cass?
What Cass has to say about that?
Well, that's why she should. She has to get on the stream. Min Fei chiming in. We can still tango online and connect spiritually. So there's definitely a lot of support for this idea. She also is risking with Roy. She has decided to risk the epidemic with her husband.
Yeah, Min Fei.
That is high risk, Min Fei.
Christine firing more shots in the chat.
Wow. I'm with
Franco Del Nuevo, quarantining alone. Let's have a phone date, Franco Del Nuevo. And also, Sachin, I think you have to give Franco Del Nuevo your number.
Oh, I'm going to. Franco Del Nuevo. Franco Del Nuevo, you and I are about to become
Christine, now wondering if anyone wants to adopt.
I've always liked you so far, Franco. Franco's always had a great sense of style in class, and I loved his moves, and I could never admit it until now, during the apocalypse.
Yeah, everybody loves Franco's moves.
Finally, all the truth is coming out.
All coming out. I don't care. I have no inhibitions.
All right.
Oh, man. It's so nice talking to everybody.
Yeah.
A bunch of witty people.
Well, so we will be on the lookout for a potential mystery guest. Although so far we might not even have time for the mystery guest. We are at the 30-minute mark. So, Sachin, do you have any final thoughts for us before we speak with Nayon Kang?
No. Enjoy Nayon. This was a pleasure, and I hope to see everybody again.
You were a model guest.
Thanks for being our guinea pig, Sachin.
I don't mean to play up my ethnicity or any stereotypes here, but I'll do this.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're bringing on Nayon. This might take a second. Excuse me.
Nayon Kang. Looking like $1 million as per usual.
Wow. Here she is, Nayon Kang.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, just I don't even know how it's going, but it's minute by minute. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just take a quick moment for those people that don't know Nayon. Where Sachin has been dancing for a long time, is an OG in LA Tango. Nayon is newer to the scene, started maybe just a little bit more than a year ago. And it also sounds like you're having maybe a different experience than the quarantine cohort is having. Would you like to just pick it up from there, tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you're going through?
Sure. So I'm, still a baby in the Tango community. So I'm still getting to know people and really appreciating the friendships and the connections I'm making. I happen to be in the nonprofit social work world. So I'm trying to navigate the new reality that's changing day by day, and figuring out how I can be of service to the world while we're tasked to be at the front lines, like many people in the Tango community that may have to still show up to work.
And so, and what has it been like at work for you recently?
This past weekend, I had no idea what Monday would look like, because if you think about just all of our industries, all of our professions, they're so interconnected that it's not black and white. Everything is super gray, and everything needs to be dissected. So I didn't know what Monday would look like, how much demand we would have, or how little demand we would have. Who is even going to show up to work? Because we're tasked to, flatten the curve and, try to reduce risk for everyone, just really stay home, but then show up to work, right? So as someone who is in a position of leadership in a nonprofit where many of our services are either essential themselves or in service of folks who are in essential, job duties, what does that even mean, right? So as a person who is working in a multi-service social service industry, what does that mean? And what has to be in person? What needs to be, what can be remote, and which folks in our workforce can do work remotely or have the option of not even working. So it's like everything that we're doing, whether it's childcare, after school services, mental health, drug treatment, low income housing, environmental services, financial services. We had to dissect everything and figure out minute by minute, right, while we're considering internal and external information, how can we be safe for ourselves and our families and make appropriate decisions, but make sure that the entire industry doesn't stop, because there are going to be elderlies who are at home, who are homebound, who may not be able to get food. There may be folks who are maybe linguistically isolated, who they don't even know what's going on, right? Or even think about homeless folks that we haven't even done a great job of connecting to. I just heard recently that they didn't even know what coronavirus was, right? Because nobody talked to them about it. They don't have internet. They don't have, right, television. No one's really, connecting with them. So this has been going on for several months, but for some of them, this is the first time they're hearing about why, what's going on, what's all the ruckus, right? And they thought that a lot of things were shutting down, or that the streets were empty because it was raining. They didn't even know what was going on. And these are folks that they don't even have a facility to wash their hands, right? They're the most disconnected with the rest of the world. So how can we, as social service providers, take care of ourselves, right? But then also have this conflicting role of serving the community. That has been, for me, really anxiety provoking and just scary, and very confusing too. So yeah, it's a new reality that we're living with. Yeah.
Man, I feel so just outside of that.
Me too.
It's just like inside of my apartment. Like I just feel completely cut off from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it's
No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I think this is where, because it's so new and confusing and everyone has such kind of disparate journeys, I don't necessarily know what it feels like to have a kid at home all of a sudden that I have to teach all day, right? And have structure and have quality time while I'm trying to get remote work done. I don't know what it feels like to maybe have my work dry up because I'm forced to close my business, or it's open, but I don't have necessarily the traffic that I'm normally used to. So every single person in our Tango community and the wider community are facing such unique circumstances that I think this is an opportunity where we're hopefully not driven by fear, but driven by empathy, and not assuming things like, why are you stockpiling on toilet paper, or why are you like chilling at home, like, able to Netflix all day, right? Like everyone has some kind of struggle that nobody else may not be facing. So this is a time where hopefully we're putting empathy before judgment, and really come together. But because it is a scary time, we have to give people the space to freak out. It is really scary. I don't even know personally what is what is in front of me day to day. So yeah, it's a very interesting uncharted territory that we're facing.
Ooh, buddy. Yeah.
Can Sachin come back on?
No, I'm so grateful that you're here talking to us about this. You're the only person I know on the front lines of it. Most of the people I know, what they're having to do is just stay in and not go anywhere.
And so
it's really
which is very hard. Yes, which is totally necessary. As many people as possible need to stay home. I wish I could stay home if I could. Yeah. We need to do everything we can. That is the top priority among competing priorities, that people just stay, as safely away from other folks as possible. And that is the highest priority. And then second or equal priority being, how can we still also make sure that people who are already vulnerable still are not put in a worse predicament than before because of the current situation.
Yeah.
Do you have a perspective on the news that came out just before we started this stream?
I think it's really being, because it's going to sound first very alarming for a lot of people because their livelihoods are at stake. Multiple industries that I'm not even thinking of, right? So first, being compassionate and hopefully being a bridge for a lot of people whose livelihood are directly affected, if not already, but even before this, right? How can we make sure that whether there are loans available or any kind of state or federal relief available, how can we be a hub of information for people who can access these resources, whether it's for rent or for commercial loans, just so they don't have to lay off more people or to even have to claim bankruptcy, right? So that's one. The other thing is, even if you're considered an essential service, whether in the healthcare field or any other related field that supports essential services, how do we now be creative so that we can still have some semblance of an infrastructure to support basic needs for the community, but also maximize safety for people. That's been the biggest struggle for me, because although I'm here to serve the community, the staff that I work with, they are the community. They are parents. They are scared people. They are under-resourced. They are dealing with helping their elderly family members or their little kids. Like, how do I possibly balance the two? And how do I even call on people to be at the front lines? And that is what has made me really cry at night, because I'm asking people to put themselves at risk, So, that's been very conflicting for me, because I can choose for myself whatever I want to do, whether I decide to stay home or whether I put myself on the front lines, but I'm in a position to have to ask other people to do that. And what if somebody gets sick? And what if anything happens? Like, how could I, as a compassionate leader, be as informed as possible while allowing individual decisions, but also answering the community need? Like, it's really hard to make sense of both. And then also, how do I take care of my friends who are in non-essential necessarily industries, but they're struggling. They're figuring out what am I going to do in April? What am I going to do in May? And what if this is 6 months down the line? How do I hopefully, how do we together figure out how to disseminate information and resources and operate from a place of not negativity and fear of loss, but a place of compassion and empathy and resourcefulness and creativity, so that we make it through this the best we can. Sorry, I'm very long-winded.
No,
thank
very
you.
much.
How? Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, we started off this show super lighthearted, very sort of snarking and which we need to. But there's a real there's an emergency out there. There's a real sober side to it. And I know that I've asked you this before, and you've told me you'll let me know. And as soon as you let us know, we can let everybody know if there, what we can do. I mean, I know people are giving lots of money, and now that's that's kind of an issue for some people who are now losing their jobs or uncertain of how long they're going to be out of work. Yeah. It'd be what can people possibly do? It's such a strange predicament. There's like all these people out there that need help, but we all also need to stay home.
Absolutely. I mean, one lesson that I've learned as a social worker that has been programmed to think of the world as like there's not enough resources, there's too much need, like you can't change the system, like there's not enough help out there. What I've had to like shift is that there's actually plenty of resources, there's plenty of creativity, right, and resourcefulness. We just need to redistribute it somehow. But first we have to hopefully have either micro communities or larger communities that are in a space of positivity and empathy and creativity where we are not thinking of this zero-sum game, but like, hey, there's plenty, right? How can we pull it together and redistribute it somehow, right? And so that means that if you are, whatever your individual circumstances, if you are struggling, maybe like not being afraid to say, hey, I need this help, right? And even if you're coming from a place of need, maybe you have something else that somebody else could benefit from, and putting that out there and saying, you know what, maybe I don't have this and maybe I need help with this, but I can do this for somebody else. So I think it's really important that close-knit communities where there's trust and generosity, even on a very small scale, how can we somehow figure out a way to share our resources so that we don't get wrapped up in panic and think like, I gotta just hoard everything for myself. Like, yes, number one, take care of yourself and your immediate kin, right? But how can we further expand that circle so that if there are multiple circles of people who are giving and contributing and sharing, that is going to make an impact. Right. And so I'm hoping that the Tango community that I have firsthand experienced, even before the coronavirus situation, that they have been the most present and kind and giving community. Like, how do we further move that momentum? Right. And then how do we think about needs that we don't even know? It's not necessarily about obvious needs, right? About certain communities or certain populations, but there are people, individuals facing circumstances that we're not even maybe thinking of at the forefront. So we need to be able to put our pride aside, put our judgment aside, and pull all of our needs together and pull all of our resources together, so that we can really be there for each other. And this is really, I think, a testament of not only the Tango community, but just groups of people who can be a beacon of hope for people that could be on the verge of really panicking and maybe taking actions that are led by desperation, you know? So that's really what I'm hoping.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And you heard her, folks. We are a tight-knit community built on trust and kindness. If you're hurting, if you need something, you can message Dave and I privately, and we can figure out where to go from there. We're here for you. And so is the rest of the Oxygen community. It is one big family. And if people are having ideas about how we as a community can contribute and help other communities who don't have the resources that we do, I feel a little bit baffled about that, but we're talking about it, and hopefully we'll get to some answers and some ideas.
And we're incredibly resilient as individuals and as a larger community. So I know right now things are up in the air. There's a lot of mixed opinions and very strong opinions. But as we start to move forward, I have every faith that people will be able to be calm and be thoughtful and be able to make the best decisions for not only themselves, but also for their friends and family members. So I'm really waiting for this first week or two, like the chaos to kind of settle, and for us to now like put our thinking hats on and think about a lot of concrete ways to connect, but also like help each other out. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, maybe we'll wind things down on a slightly lighter note. Do you ever miss Tango? Do you think about Tango? What do you miss about Tango?
Oh my gosh, I miss Tango so much. Okay, so I've been like counting the days. How many days? It's been like 9 days exactly, right? Because it was, but it feels like ages ago. And for someone who is so in love with the art and science and the community of Tango, I was going like 3 to 5 times a week, and I didn't know how much of a part of my life and my identity and my community it was. So I miss so much of it. Like there's so many, like the faces, like not only the embrace, the technicalities and the art of Tango, but just really ultimately the community of Tango. And so I was like planning, like maybe if our nonprofit was supposed to shut down, like I'm gonna do all these drills at home, and I'm gonna do like Google Hangout of like doing drills together, but I just haven't gotten to that, and hopefully I will soon. But I just miss every aspect of it. I miss the ritual of it, and I really miss you two as really the pillars of Oxygen Tango. So yeah, I just can't wait to even if we don't get to dance together, but just be in the same space together to say hello and to give everyone a hug. So yeah, I can't even figure out what exactly I miss, but I miss everything about it.
I just had this vision of us all standing in a huge circle, exactly 6 feet apart, and just saying hi.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
we may still have a Skype room full of drilling going on at some point. There does seem to be some interest in that. So maybe we'll have something like that coming down the pike.
You got a lot of love in the chat, Nayon, by the way. Love
I paused YouTube. I don't know what's going on other than our Skype conversation. I can't wait to read up on it. I miss everybody, and I can't wait to catch up on the comments. Yeah.
The amazing thing is that Nayon, even as she is on the front lines and dealing with all of this and juggling her own safety and trying to balance it with everybody else's safety, she still finds time to contact Megan and me and see how we're doing, and I'm sure she's done that for many other people as well. So it is really inspiring just to see you in action. Really a wonderful part of our community, and there's a lot of wisdom just in hearing you talk for the last 20 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you. And I commend all the people who are still at the front lines beyond my industry. So thank you, everyone. Whether you're staying home or you're at the front lines, you're all part of the solution. So thank you.
Thanks, Nayon.
So I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Want to just were we clear about what we're doing with Oxygen and
yeah, for
and
those
what's
of you that
happening?
haven't heard, we are still officially closed to the end of March, and then we'll reevaluate. Doesn't seem super likely that we'll be reopening in April, but we're going to at least take it a couple weeks at a time, see what develops. We'll sort of debrief maybe after this stream and let you know how we're going to move forward, but it is certainly fun to hear from everybody again, and how cute. And to who's this?
This is Ninja.
Ninja, wow. Aptly named.
I'm samurai. This is Ninja. He's sleeping on my lap.
Oh. It was so nice seeing everybody in the chat and just watching you have conversations with each other. Really good for my heart. We miss everybody so much. Yeah, we'll keep you updated. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do something. We're just taking it day by day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nayon.
Thanks, Nayan.